Hello. Got 3 viewers in. Hello, Bob. I hope you're sticking around afterwards, Bob, because I need to talk to you about electronics. Hello, Mr. Price. How are you? We have a bit of an unusual situation tonight in that I don't really have anything to build as such. I'm going to wing it. So I've got stuff that I'm doing, don't get me wrong, but it's very much in the stages of waiting for priming. The astronaut, I'll show you that in a minute, but we'll probably do a bit of that. And we'll probably, if I can get the camera working, we might do some priming of those and maybe even prime the astronaut. I've got the Spitfire, but that's got to be done on live shows for the people that are following it, so can't really do that. I've also got the big monster build, which I'll show in a bit, which is the AWACS. Don't really want to start on that at the moment because there's a few things I've got to figure out. But there we go. How many we got in now? We've got 6. Has it arrived? Oh, yes. No, it's still coming. See what you did there. I could let you into a little secret on that, but I can't. We've got too many people in. Next time I see you, I'll tell you something that'll make you laugh. Right, 6 viewers. We'll go wait for a couple more. Should they turn up, and then we will make a move. Well, we won't move anywhere, but seven. That'll do. So, hello, good evening, and welcome to another Wednesday show. And as I said previously to some of the people that were in earlier, haven't got anything planned for tonight. So I'm going to wing it a bit. So first of all, I'm going to do, it's a bit of a public service announcement. Now, I found out this through Christoph, who's he left our group, but he's come back. Hi, Chris, if you're watching. And nice lad, does a lot of good stuff. He just built a Polycarp, you may remember. And he told me about this, so I'm just passing this on because it transpires that I have this problem as well. Now, if you've bought one of these, and it doesn't really matter where from, you may want to have a close look at it, because you may find that the circles in the center are not actually completely spherical. They've got like a wavy line going round instead of a perfect circle, which is what they're supposed to have. I think I got mine from Hanon, so I've got to check. So I'll be contacting them about this, but if we can get him really closely, I don't know if it's going to work. And if you look at sort of, so if we say the top is 12 o'clock, so if you look roughly around, let me find my hand. So these, where the circles get tighter, if you look around them, you'll see that they look more web-shaped than actually circular. When you come out, you can see that they're proper. But when you go in, they've got that web look to them, and some of them get worse as they go down. You come round to the bottom and it's okay, but at the top there's definitely a bit of a problem. So yeah, if you got one of these, check it out. As far as I'm aware, I've had a look everywhere else. I can't see a problem anywhere else, but there is an issue there. So yes, do have a look and see whether yours is okay. If you've bought one recently or in the last sort of 4 or 5 months, go and have a look, and you know, if it is bad, then get in touch with wherever you bought it from. Excellent. So that's that out of the way. So on to things that I've bought. I haven't really bought a great deal in terms of models, but what I come across, and again, this was a recommendation. This one came from a secret source, and I don't know. I don't want to give him away, but I'll tell you what. We'll code name him Bob, and that way we're safe. So Bob gave me this recommendation, and these are grey primers, and it's auto spray paint, £1 each. £1. Consequently, I've got about £5 worth. I've got two gloss black, 2 grey primer, and 1 white, I think. Yeah, 2 grey, 2 black, 1 white. So what made me buy these? Well, I'm currently building, as some of you know, the monstrous Boeing E3 AC AWACS, which is monstrous. Let me just... So this thing is huge, as you can see. And it's going to take a phenomenal amount of paint to do this, to get this up to spec, so to speak. So rather than pay a fortune on Stynylrez, I've decided that I was going to give this a try, and I've seen Bob's work. I know Bob uses this a lot, and I have no trouble at all in trusting if it's good enough for him, then it's good enough for me. And so there we go. That's roughly, so you're looking at sort of that size. That is a beast. And yeah, so that was the reasoning behind that. Plus I'm going to be lighting it up, so I've got to spray the inside black to prevent any light bleed, and I just don't have the funds to pay for. I know they're only the Tamiya ones are what, 190, 260, something like that. Yeah, but when you start using 2-3 bottles of the colour, it's when I can just £1 and get, you know, a couple of passes. So that's the reasoning behind that. Next week I'll let you know what I thought of them. When I've used them, I'll let you know what I thought of them and how they compare to the other primers that I've got. Well, I can, you know, I've got a bit of foresight, so I can already tell you that they're going to smash Vallejo out of the park. You don't need to be a genius to figure that out. Yeah, I don't want to jump on the Vallejo bashing bandwagon, so I'm going to say no more than that. But I would think that they're going to be a bit better than those, unfortunately. But that's the way it is. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Okay, what you don't know, Mrs. Sprue doesn't know about what's coming. Hi, Mom, says Thermonuclear Bobbington. Mrs. Sprue says hello. Jan's come in. Hey all, anyone join to Telford? No, I'm not going to Telford this year for a variety of reasons. Some of you will know, so others won't, but I'm not going. Jan says mine Infini are good. He's on about the AK easy cutting type 2 jig. He's on about the Infini ones there. So I haven't given them a go, but I will. Looks like a spider's web. Yeah, it does, Dave. It's quite bad, actually. I don't know why I didn't spot it, but Chris did. Chris spotted it and he alerted me to it. So Spinning Mushroom says that they are going. Jan, looking forward to it. Matt 58, now I have to go to check mine. So yeah, let us know, Matt, whether you've got the same problem with yours. It'd be interesting to know. If you see a table with a Kate TIE Fighter and the Advanced on there, Dave Price says, oh, Bob, we all know a Bob. Yeah, we all do know a Bob. It might not be the same one, though. It may be a different Bob altogether. Spinning Mushroom. Always enjoy the visit to Telford. Spend too much, though. There you go. Yeah. That is the trouble. And Rob B says they really stink. People at Telford? Or... I don't know. I don't know what you're on about. I think he's on about these. They do. They're horrendous. And if you do use these, you absolutely cannot use these in the house. To be fair, even if you've got a big extractor, I wouldn't want to use these in the house. There's so much aerosol and that comes out. Not a good idea at all. So, yeah, if you're doing the aerosol, decant or aerosol outside. You'll get more if you decant. If you aerosol outside, you'll lose quite a lot. Even if you're really focused and you're doing it really carefully, you'll still lose quite a bit to the environment. Oh, let me just mute that. Sorry. Yeah, so that's something you need to bear in mind. So what else? Now I've got to pick these up at I'm going to bring the camera down now. I've seen enough of me for now. I'll pick this up at Lidl. Yeah, Lidl. They're £4. It's quite a good set. It's a polishing set, and it does plastic. It's not them little tiny spinning discs that you get with your hobby drill. This will work on Dremels and such. Beware of the speed you're using, though. You're better really with a cordless one because they don't run as fast, and they're normally variable. Now I've got a cordless one and I can turn the speed right down. Even on the plug-in ones, you turn the speed right down, they're still very fast. So always test something like this on a bit of old plastic or something first. But you'll see the difference straight away. These are big pads. So we've got that, and then the crucial thing here is we've got the felt type polishing pad, and you've got the spindle that will enable it to go on your little Dremel drill or whatever. And you have some polishing blocks in here as well, quite a bit. You've got one which is, I can't remember. Oh, right, so the brown one's pre-polishing. The bluish one is post-polishing. Right, that's a bit confusing. So you've got pre-polishing. So before you polish, you use that. After you polish, you use that. So when's the actual polishing stage? I thought that was the polishing stage. All right, well, we'll see. Anyway, when I use that, I will, I'll probably do that live as a video so that people can see if it works or if it doesn't work. I don't know, maybe we could do that. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it tonight. I was thinking of doing it tonight, but I haven't prepared anything. So, and I want to test it on a bit of old plastic first to make sure. It does say plastic on the box. So, polishing disc, pre-polishing paste. That is not a paste. That is very solid. Buffing wheel and post-polishing mandrill, including assembly material. It does say somewhere, ideal for polishing smooth surfaces made from metal, stone, wood, or plastic. Now then, it may be, we got to think, because you'll be polishing like an acrylic varnish or something, so we need to make sure we don't damage that. So that's something I've got to test. I'm hopeful for it though, so we'll give that a go. Right, not been doing much. Well, I have done a bit of building, so let's move on to the, this is where we're at with the astronaut. Going pretty well. Now then, I filled in a seam, but it actually needs some more in, so we're going to do that first. Because at the moment, let me get a pen so I can show you what I'm on about. Or even, do I have, so I don't want to use that. Somewhere I have oh, mate, we'll have to use that. It seems on the, yeah, on the pen missing. Oh well, we'll have to do without it tonight. So why have we got to do some filling on here? Because at the moment, what we've got here is basically this guy. Let's start at the back first. If I just draw a line there and a line there, it's the seam that runs around in between those two red lines, and it basically comes all the way down, and the same on the other side, and then it gives the it gives the appearance, especially on this pocket here, should be all one flat piece. It shouldn't have this seam line in this top corner, so I've got to fill that one in completely. And otherwise, if I actually draw on the seam line, it gives this appearance that he's wearing underpants on the outside of his spacesuit, and it just looks wrong. And I've got to fill that bit in there as well. So we're gonna fill that in. Now, last time I had a bit of a disaster. I tried to use Humbrol paste. It didn't go well. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So this time I am just going to use Perfect Plastic Putty. Just squeeze that out. Now this dries extremely quick. If I can get that, there's obviously damn, this is difficult to get out. You know, every single time I want to do something related to, I'm going to use Bob's method now. I'm just going to see whether the problem's there. And I think now it's okay. There we go. I think that's got it. Right. Apologies for that. Now then. Always have stuff go wrong when I'm trying to work with filler. Let's go on the other side. Probably put a bit too much on there, but you can come along with a damp cotton bud in a minute, because believe me, this stuff goes off pretty damn quick. Just coming round. A little bit of ink you put down with a Sharpie actually helps to tint the make sure I get that. That's the important one, that pocket, because it needs to have a perfectly flat appearance when it's done. Even that edge needs to be there. And it starts to lose its sort of stickiness, then you've got very limited time left, because it's normally then that it's drying off completely. Just keep going round as best you can. When it starts to dry out, just what I do is I dip my I don't know what this is called. I must find out what this is called. Texture wand. I don't know. Keep with the Harry Potter theme. In some water, and it helps to smooth it all out. So we've got very shallow, where I've sanded this back on the side here, it's very, very shallow, so it's hard to know how much of that will stay in. In the water we go, and then we come back out, and you can see that it just smooths that over. Don't worry, all this will brush sand off any excess, it's not a problem. Let's get this other side done before it sets too much. And I'm going to turn to the flat end for this because it is already becoming a bit more difficult to work with. And if you can, before it becomes too much, just go across and make sure you keep those creases so that you can see where they go. You don't want to fill those. One of the things you can do is put tape down either side, but I don't really bother with that. I know lots of people do, though. Lots of people that are better at it than me. I guess that's why. There we go. Come on. A little bit longer. Brilliant. That's it. That's it. A little bit of water on does wonders. Don't put too much on though, because you'll wash it out. You really just want the. And then we're coming round to the front section now. This is quite. You can see how it's already going. It's already setting. It's not lost yet. Remember, we need to keep the edge on this pocket so we know exactly where it is. Hope everyone's enjoying the fireworks. I don't know if there's anyone else in here from Northampton, but we've had a new university built, and it's been a pretty big deal. So people have come from all over the UK to come and study at Northampton, and I hate to be the one that says I told you so, but I predicted that when this opened, there'd be a rise in problems. A lot of people said, "Oh no, there won't be because they're university students. You know, they're well, in my experience, they can be some of the worst." You know, when I worked on the doors, I ran into them types of people all the time. And they basically sort of rioted the other night down at the university complex. and around in the streets, throwing fireworks at people. There's videos of it on YouTube. You know, they're just lunging, aiming rockets and then firing them into crowds and that. It's just disgusting. I can hear the fireworks going off now. It's just a bloody disgrace, it really is. I hate to be bar humbug and all that, but so anyway, when you're filling in these things, don't worry about what it looks like, because it will look a bit messy. Yeah, don't give that a second thought. As long as you leave it plenty of time to dry, and as long as the area wasn't sort of all dusty or dirty before you started, you're not going to have any difficulties getting rid of the dirt on there, the plastic. There we go. And that then will be more of a crease and less of a... And see how just putting those little paint lines, those little Sharpie lines down by the crease, when you start adding when you start adding the plastic putty, it will colour it. And then where you'll benefit from that is when you're coming to take it off. When you'll come in to remove it, you'll start sanding it down, and then you'll see a faint pinkish line where your putty has gone into the seams. Let me just have a look. Yeah, we need to get a bit down there. Let's see if we can... There we go. Get a bit on there as well, because that was a weak join there, where the on the underside of that garment. We don't want to lose the definition on that, so let's get that. Needs to come. Don't think the shrinkage on this is too bad. And there we go. So it's filled. It's not beautiful, you know, it's not pretty, but I'll let you reserve judgment until we've sanded it back. Once we've sanded it back, I'm sure you'll find it to be satisfactory. At least I hope so. I'm under pressure now to make sure that this comes out perfect. Just taking a bit of excess off. I don't need that on there. So there he goes. He's ready to stand on his own 2 feet. That's where we put the Airfix putty last time. That's been sanded down now. And yeah, so that looks okay. We'll pop him to one side and we'll have another quick look at the chat. All right, we'll stand him there. We'll stand him there on his own 2 feet. Even his looks like he's saluting Hitler a bit. He's not. He's climbing a ladder. I think it's a ladder he's climbing. With that's the base that he'll be standing on. Right. So have a quick look at the chat again. Oh dear. So. Oh, I don't know what's going on again. So there's always somebody got to fucking ruin it. Right, so we got to the primers. Dave Price says, I'm thinking of young Bob from Blackadder. Yeah. No, I think that Bob's probably... No, I'm not going to go with that. Frankie Day Model says, hello. Matt 58. Yep, have the infamy. Have a little bit, not as bad as yours, Mark. Right, so... yeah, it's interesting. Mark Scale Models, hi all. Grant 5760. Evening all. Hope you're all well. Wolfie, another night of total crap and rubbish. Ha ha ha. Rob B says that's an opinion. No holding back. Angela said,
as Mrs. Sprue, could you please do me a favour and go on to that and block Wolfie? Yes, he needs gone. Have a guess who it is.
Neil?
Yes, well done.
Yeah.
You are a fucking asshole. You're a troll.
Yeah,
if you've got nothing better in your life to do, then I feel sorry for you. Nobody has caused you harm, but by God, do you come on and try and try and try. Well done. But for somebody that's so pathetic that has to do that, I'm sorry, you need a life.
Right, so Mark Scale Models, hi all. Evening all, hope you're all well. Grant 5760. Oh yeah, we've done that. And then Wolfie, another night of crap and bullshit. So let me just go on to that report. So I'm going to report that in a minute, but we'll see. That's an opinion, no holding back. Don't like, don't watch, Angela said. Mrs. Sprue, straight to the point. Thermonuclear Bobbington's laughing. Rob B. Smart laughing. Dave Price laughing. Would mind so much, but there is no content on that person's channel. Well, no, it's... you looked as well, Dave. Yeah, there never is. They're chat. They create other names. So you block them, and then they go and create another name, so that they can get back in. The problem is you can't really block on YouTube. I can block on Facebook, but not on YouTube. Too busy trolling to make any content, Grant 5760 says. Always the way, we all need input, good or bad, lol. Just make sure you know who you are as a person before trolling well. And then from the yam, go screw yourselves. Well, you know, I feel like just telling everyone what this is about. You know, I would have left this alone, but me and Neil got on very well. And I asked his advice on a car I was building because the wheels were too far forward at the back, and it didn't look right. And Neil told me that that's how they were supposed to be. So fair enough. He knows his stuff. I had no reason to question it. Anyway, before I sealed everything up for good, I went and checked all the video footage and photos I could of the real thing, just to make sure that I was doing the right thing. And it turned out that on all of them, I couldn't see these wheels being far forward like I'd got on my model. And I private messaged him and asked him to, you know, I know what you said, but is there any chance you can clarify this? I told him, because I've had a look at these and they seem a bit different and that. He did not like that. He became a bit nasty over it, and stopped, sort of left the group and disassociated from me. I have not insulted him in any way. I have not gone and spread bad rumors about him. I have done nothing to this man, and he still comes in and continues to do this with his friends for no apparent reason. Well, the reason is he just wants my channel to be gone, basically. He'll be happy when my channel's gone or whatever. But there you go. So everyone knows now. You know, people can make up their own minds whether I've done right or done wrong, but that's it. Right, Rob B. Mind you, I've no content, but that's my choice. I build for myself only and don't give an FK about anyone else and their opinion. It's a sad world if all you can do is put other people down to make you happy. I don't have content either, but I don't criticize. Yep, thought as much. I had a good idea too. Needs to grow up. Looks like he has a pair of my underpants on. Oh yeah. Smooth's on about the astronaut. Dave Price laughs. Says hi to Smooth, and I think hold on. Oh no, we've got some more. Got to love having trolls. I think a lot of yous have them now. Yes, we do, but this one is on a vendetta for whatever reason. Smooth Workshop, you can. That's why I always have mods on my channel. Dave Price, I've reported him. God, I wish they would. So on and so forth. Just time for me to leave. Angela says, I wish I hadn't come on. Shameful that I cannot help him enjoy his hobby due to people pissing me off. Well done, people. I will not stop supporting me. Well, no, she doesn't. Thank you, Angela. Keep up the good work. Don't let them get to you. Right. It's a shame. I never ever wanted any problems like this. I don't want trouble like this. I just want to do what I'm doing. But the problem is when people come in and keep, I don't know whether that, I mean, if that's Neil, I'm disappointed. He knows what I've been through, and I just don't get it. I don't understand, because I didn't think he was like that. I just wish we could move forward and leave this. But there we go. Maybe it's one of his friends. I don't know. But there we go. Right. Let's move on then. So we got that sprayed. You know what? I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to have to call it. I'm going to have to call it a night there. That's that has somewhat annoyed me. So it's thrown me as well. I'm not quite sure what to think at this stage. I didn't really have anything planned for the rest of the night. I was just going to do a bit of spraying. Okay, I mean, Smooth saying then he wins. Yeah, you're right. Okay, look, I'll try and, I mean, I've got 3/4 of an hour left. I'll try and keep it. So, where was I? The astronaut, he can go to one side now. I can't, got to be careful where I put him, because that's where I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to, let's have a look at the, let's do some spraying. That was the plan originally, so let's stick to it. So I'm going to swap cameras now. I'm going to try and swap cameras. Mola Mola had an accident. He was knocked across the room before his engines got done. Now I think most of Mola's still in here, but there's been no further progression on that. I've been too busy with doing other things. I mean, but yeah, I will get to that, and I'll let you know. So we're going to try. We are going to spray these. So I'm going to switch to the other camera. Now the other camera is a lower resolution and the microphone's different. So there may be a difference in quality and sound. Right, so settings. Let's hope this works. HD 615. Blue Snowball. No, I want to change that to the 6. There we go. I think I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Right, apologies for that. The other camera's not working, which is annoying. I tested it before the show and it was working, and now it's not. So let me try something else just quickly. Sometimes it's just the extension on the camera. There's a big USB lead that I have to plug in to use the other camera. So settings. Let's try that one more time. Oh. So I'm going to have to stick with the mic, the snowball mic on the desk. I don't know if I can swivel that round. Let me see. Can so it seems the USB lead is too small. Make the lead is too long for the signal, so it obviously gets in the way. Right, can everyone see and hear there? So hopefully we're going to spray. Now I won't be able to see the screen or anything while I do this. Let's move all this out of the way. There we go. Get rid of that. Now we'll use Badger Steinel Res for this. We'll get a glove ready. Right. I might put a bit of, I'm going to swap the airbrush over because this is an Iwata airbrush. Although I think it's got a 0.3 needle in. It's not it's a bit smaller than my Apex one, which it would be better off for this. What's the clear thing that looks like a cap? Well, I bought the filters off someone I used to know, Grant. You Yeah, I bought the filters off someone I used to know. He bought them in a big roll, so he then cut them for people, and he sold them. I paid about £10, and he gave me 4 or 5, I think. But you can. Your best bet is just to buy. I think it's just a roll. You can buy rolls of this filter material. It's not quite the same as what you've got in there from when you get it new. I think they're like oven filter. Yeah, yeah. So that's your best bet. Give that a go. So I was just looking. What's the clear thing that looks like a cap? Right. You need to be a bit more specific, Smooth. I don't know what you were looking at the time. Right. Some thinner. I will be using UMP thinner for this. And I'm going to use a cup to mix it up in. Just trying to remember where I put the cups. They're in the top drawer of something, I know. So it's just a matter there we go. I need a stirrer. I should have kept the camera on over here until I was ready. We'll use that one. I'm leaving a load of mess behind me. So here we go. It's just a little bit too thick for my airbrush that's set up at the moment. I'm not going to thin it by much. That's better. So I've literally put about how much will I say? 5 mils, if that. No, 2.5 mils of thinner in. I don't know how much these cups are. So they're 25 mils, 30 mil cup. So it's about 5 mils of primer to about 1 mil of thinner I've put in there. There we go. Now it's going to go noisy once I turn the fan on to the spray booth. My apologies for that, but I don't want to be breathing it all in. The pressure I have set to 20 psi. Let me just check that. There we go. I think we're good to go. Pour that in. Put that over there. Turn extractor on, and away we go. Just going to turn up the pressure a little bit. Not too worried about these rolling around. I'm just trying to clear a bit of space on the stand so that I can... there we go, that's a bit better. It's coming out a bit slow. I'm just going to spray the back of these. Pop that one back in and start to... This is a landing gear. I've tried to clamp it where I won't, or where it won't be seen. You've got some seats. Actually, I could have done with a second sponge to... Bloody blue tack's a pain in the arse sometimes. It's good for some things, but others not so. Obviously, I'm not too worried about these bits in here because they'll... I've got a piece that I want to lay down and there's not a surface dry. You can blow some air over the primer, and then that will dry the paint rather quickly. So you can, just looking at that, that needs doing again. Bear with me a second. I want to sort. Right, let's turn that around a bit. Just looking at some of these, they are going to need a second, just a quick go over. That's better. Sorry if I keep knocking the camera. It's a little bit uncomfortable sat here. I've just realised I haven't put the link up for Dan. My apologies. Normally I put a link up so that if people want to join, they can. I clean forgot. It's probably not worth putting it up now. I'm just hosing this on. I'm not using any etiquette at all, really. I'm just blasting it on there. The Steinal Res, or UMP as it's known, and Ammo MIG as well. It's very resilient stuff. I mean, you can hose this on, and it will stick in a little bit now. It's starting to. It has been in there quite a while. I mean, you could blast this on and it will settle within reason. I mean, you've got to bear in mind that this is only a 0.3 needle, or it might even be 0.2. The middle there. Right, and these are more awkward because they're not glued together. Oh, I will have to. Oh, found it. We're in luck. Right, I'm not quite sure how to do these. So let's do the insides. Well, that glues together, so let that top bit dry. got to stay together, each piece. Actually, what I could do is need to let that dry. While I'm waiting on that, I'm just going to run down the seams of. Sorry if you're struggling to hear me. Just literally going to run over the seams. Not on what we've done today, but down the leg. Hmm. Right. Struggling a bit with it now. It's okay, it's not a problem though. If anything, it will add to the effect when it gets painted over. Pop that down there and that down there like that. And there's still a ton of paint left in there, primer, as you can see. I mean, it'll pretty much get wasted, that will, but gonna move back. Right, we will move back to the other camera now. My apologies for that taking so long and being a bit noisy. Let me move back to the other camera. And what I'll do is I'll just, I've done this loads of times before, but I'll take you through a, because I didn't really want to waste as much of the primer as possible, I've just ran over the seams, and you'll hear this quite a lot when you'll hear modelers say that the seams will show up, and what that means is, for anyone that's not sure, that when you get rid of your seams and you'll look at them and you'll think, yeah, that's perfect, that's gone, or you'll be able to see it but you won't be able to feel it, and you think, well, you know, has it gone or not? When you put primer on, it tells you. There's no other way of putting it. So if I can find a piece that's, so you can see on that arm, sorry, you can see on that arm's okay. But if we were to go and look at the shoulder there, or even the base of the leg there going onto the boot. Come on. Oh, sorry, I've got my hands full with. Gonna work. Let me turn that down. There we go. You can see that there's still considerable filling needed on that. Whereas when it was white, it looked pretty good. So there's still more work needed on that. So now what I'm going to do is this is very, very messy. I'm going to clean it. So let me just get my couple of bits on it. I would normally do this over by the extractor with it running, but first things first, I'm just going to put some, this is like a lacquer thinner in, and I'm just going to get a brush and clean. As much of that off as I can, and just keep swirling that around, because it's what it's done is it's coated at the top, and because of the length of time spraying, it's sort of dried onto the inside of the colour cut. So you just loosen up as much as you can, and that on the outside. Should have got me towel ready, and then just pour that out. I won't spray it through yet. And then in with just wipe as much of that off as you can before I go in with another lot. Same again, except this time the top of the cup is already more or less clean. I don't know if you heard me earlier on, but I totally forgot to put the link up in the channels. Now, if you was wanting to come in tonight, I'm terribly sorry. I just clean forgot, but it was because I was rushing around at the last minute. I normally go around and ask people earlier in the day, but yes, my apologies. Which will be relatively clean inside. Clean enough now that I can do a little spray through. Yeah, we've got a bit of blockage. The prime is sort of set in the bit of blowback. We're gonna need a spanner, little spanner. That big model down. What have I done with my water spanner? Well, where are you? Oh dear, never mind what it caused. Oh, fortunately it's only finger tight. Right. There we go, we'll clean that off in a minute. Yeah, we've got get that out. Need a little silver dish. Tiny bit in there. Drop that in. And we'll drop that in as well, just to be on the safe side. And then loosen off the nozzle, push forward, always take it out from the front. I'm showing a little bit of paint primer in the back, which probably means I've got a seal on its way out. Sort the rest of that needle out in a minute. Let's get this glove off. It's getting in the way now because it's dirty and it's just making more of a mess than anything else. I don't clean it every time like this, but when I've been using primer for like a big job like that, I will always come in and give it a thorough cleaning. I just don't, I prefer to do it this way. I have tried other ways, don't get me wrong. But that now, I think you'll agree, is spotless in there. We'll just get another. So that is spotless in there. So now I'm going to turn my attention just briefly to the outside to make sure that that's as clean as the inside. I've got a little tiny bit, so I'll put some fluid on the towel. I won't put it directly on the there we go. Got quite a bit of gunk around by the front washer. Now, the front rubber washer, I will not put cellulose thinner on that. and periodically I change that anyway. I don't believe it's not a Teflon seal, so it will disintegrate somewhat. A little bit more, got a little bit more there. There we go, that's nice and clean. So, you know, everywhere you look, there's not a speck of paint in there. That's thoroughly cleaned. I'll check down the barrel. No, nothing in there at all. So I can pop that to one side. Excellent. Now we'll have a quick look at the needle. So we'll use the cellulose thinner that's in the little tin there. And just going in one direction, wipe along the needle, which picks up all of the there we go. Now what I sometimes do, just to make sure there's nothing, is just push through with the needle. You can see it's picked up a little bit coming through. I need to get that seal looked at. That's obviously a problem. Paint shouldn't be getting back that far. I believe there is a seal in there which is obviously worn in some way. There we go, and on that next pass through it's clean. But I'll just, yeah. As you can see, the next pass through is clean. So that's good. So we can pop that in using my finger as a guide, because I have shaky hands. Just pop that, pull it back so it's out of the way slightly. And pop it to one side. And then turn our attention to this nozzle at the front, which is where this is probably one of the most important areas. This will get blocked with sludge and God knows what else. And blowing out alone just does not clear it as a rule. You can see already I'm starting to drag stuff out. There, I mean, you can see it coming off on my finger. Sometimes it's easier when it's dry. There we go. It's leave that to dry for a bit, because sometimes it makes it more difficult when the primer's all wet. So we'll let that dry. Let's have a look at this one. Just make sure everything is, all the holes are clear. Don't normally get any trouble in that department, but we'll just make sure. Let's come back to this now, see if it's, I haven't really left it long enough, but there we go. So it's all sparkly clean now. Right, first of all, let me see if I can. Right, there is a blockage there still. So I normally keep doing this until I can see a clear hole at the bottom. There's one line. There's quite a lot still in there. Alright, I can now see down through the nozzle. Right, so put that floating nozzle back on. Just push the needle gently until it's in position. And then just pull it back slightly so you don't damage the tip while you're putting this on. Screw up finger tight. Push that back. Make sure it's, there we go. Tighten that up. Now then, just to make sure everything's okay, just going to flush it through. Yeah. Perfect. There we go. So that's clean. Pop a peg on there, stop that from. Turn this off. Okay, there we have it. So I'm going to check the chat. Viewers are leaving a bit now. It's getting a bit late. Overrun a fraction, I think. I will be staying on, so there will be an offline straight after this. The link will be going up on the Sprue Surgery Waiting Room page, and you can come and join in the fun and frolics there. My sincerest apologies for the trolling earlier on. I do try to prevent it where I can. It's not always, I've lost the gun, it's not always possible. But my apologies for that. Obviously, it's not something that I like people to see when they come and watch the show. Okay, so Matt 58 says it might not be the seal. Okay. All right. Okay. Right, Mark scale model, what's that airbrush? It's an Iwata custom Eclipse, I believe it's called. Just looking through to see whether there's any questions. Yeah, apologies for the sound. Right, okay, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're in the group, if not, join Facebook. The link will be going up in a minute, and you'll be able to come in and join me, and we'll talk about everything that's happened and go from there. So thanks for watching, and see you next week. Bye for now.